In February, the world's media descended on the small town of Bredasdorp in the Overberg. Here, 17-year-old Anine Boysen was raped, disemboweled and left for dead. In October, Johannes Kana was found guilty and received a double life sentence.
It still hurts. I don't know. I don't think she deserved to be slaughtered like an animal. To come to an end like this, it was not God's will that she had to die like this.
In another shocking case, a 4-month-old baby girl and her 7-year-old brother were raped in series. A 25-year-old farm worker was arrested and is in police custody. In November, Thandi Maqubela was found guilty of murdering her husband, acting High Court Judge Patrick Maqubela. Her co-accused, Vela Mabena, was acquitted. She was denied bail ahead of her sentencing in February. In May, former Fidentia boss J. Arthur Brown was fined 75,000 rand and received a suspended sentence. Brown allegedly duped investors out of millions. Many were shocked by the lenient sentence. Pushing for a heavier sentence, the state was granted leave to appeal. Cape Town was rocked by a war of a different kind. Human feces dumped across the city. The incidents were widely condemned. The alleged ringleaders at the time vowed to continue until the living conditions of the poor are improved.
As if we are created by God to be poor, of which is not the case. They know themselves that we were never, but these are the scars of the apartheid that keeps on coming on a daily basis.
In October, a service delivery protest got out of hand. Scores of shops were damaged and looted as protesters made their way through the CBD. After 2 months of strikes and violent protests, the minimum wage for farm workers was increased to 105 rand per day from March. 2 people died and hundreds of millions of rands of damage was caused. In May, Professor Cyril Karabus was welcomed back home. He was detained for 9 months in the United Arab Emirates on charges of manslaughter. It related to the death of a young cancer patient he treated more than a decade ago.
Really just to thank everybody. I mean, your support has just been absolutely fantastic. I've been reading, the papers. Unfortunately, there's very little that gets published in the Emirati papers, but now and again, and often it's wrong. Like they listed me as a fugitive, and they said that I left the country, before my contract finished and that sort of thing, and you try and correct that and you just can't.
Incessant winter rains and widespread flooding took their toll. At least 18,000 people in low-lying areas were affected. A hospital had to be evacuated. Massive damage was also caused in the agriculture industry, with farmers in the Boland and Overberg losing up to 90% of their produce. Shack fires also left thousands homeless. The most recent, an informal settlement in Valhalla Park. Rebuilding began in earnest over the weekend.
I lost everything. All my neighbors, we have 4 blocks, A, B, C, and D. A, B, C, and D, there is damage. I don't want that things that the government give, that speakers and park. We want houses, not windy houses, because they built something here, but God wanted millions of rand. Why didn't they build houses for us?
And an environmental disaster was averted after a bulk carrier ran aground near Buffalo Bay. An oil leak left hundreds of birds drenched and threatened protected estuaries. The ship was finally dislodged 2 weeks later and was towed out to sea where it was sunk. Mariska Botha, SABC News, Cape Town.